I've scaled my clothing brand past $500,000 only using organic content. And the crazy part about that, 3 products contributed to more than half of those sales. So today I'm going to break down a system that I use to create winning products for my clothing brand using brand identity and design language. We're going to dig into your design habits, your design system, your brand identity, and actually the real deal sauce on how to make a winning product. I'm also holding this call live with my inner circle students, so enjoy this sauce that I usually wouldn't give you guys. Let's get into it. Week 2, habits plus design language. Welcome to week 2, bros. We're almost a couple weeks away from hitting our first 10K month with our clothing brand. So here's part 1. You don't have a design problem. Most of you think the problem is your designs when really it's not. You don't have a design problem. You have a habit problem. Your habits don't align with the work that you're trying to do. You wake up late, you go to sleep late, you work whenever you feel like it, so nothing ever gets done. And even if your ideas are good, your execution is completely bad. So here's the truth. You don't get results from ideas. You don't get results from designs. You don't get results from content ideas and product inspiration. You get results from habits. You get results from what you do consistently. You get results from what you do every single day. So if your habits are weak, your brand is going to be weak. So if you want better designs first, you need better habits first. You're not going to become a better person if you don't become a better person. You're not going to build a better brand if you don't become a better person. So you need to align your habits with where you want your brand to be automatically. And that's just step 1 of actually being able to build any business to any point, is aligning your habits, what you do, your behavior, your actions with where you're trying to get to. If you say you're trying to scale your clothing brand to 6 figures and you want to be a 6-figure brand owner, you have to move and act like a 6-figure brand owner. And you can't do that by waking up whenever you want to wake up, having no system, having no schedule, doom scrolling top of the morning, not really doing any work. That's not going to get you there. So your habits are what's killing your clothing brand. Your designs are not the thing that's killing your brand. But still today, I'm going to teach you how to develop a design language that creates winning products every single time you basically drop. But first, let's get into this habit system. This is about fixing how you move. This is your new daily rules. Every single day, you're going to wake up on time. You're going to stop starting your day late. Every single day you start your day late, you are losing time that you could be gaining towards achieving your goals. And every single day, there's 24 hours on the clock. You have 24 hours to push yourself as far as you can possible to your goals before the next day starts tomorrow and you can't get a day back. So if you think, oh, today I'm just going to lollygag a little bit, it's a Saturday, that's a whole Saturday that you could be using to get closer to your goals. So never take a day off, wake up on time, stop starting your day late. But most importantly, more important than waking up on time is going to sleep on time. You're not going to wake up on time if you don't go to sleep on time. So get in the house. Don't be outside the house past 10 p.m. outside looking for girls or just doing random stuff. Get in the bed. Go to sleep. That way you can wake up tomorrow ready with your brain sharp, ready to work, ready to make money. Rule number 3, work on your brand daily, minimum 2 hours a day. You're going to need more than 2 hours if you want to hit your first 10K month, but you want to work on your brand minimum 2 hours a day at the same time each and every day. This should be a non-negotiable time. This is not for negotiation. You can't go talk to your girlfriend during this time. You can't doom scroll during this time. This is time for you to specifically to do your clothing brand work. Set this aside each and every day. This is non-negotiables. Non-negotiable, my bad. And also number 4, no distractions while working. No phone, no scrolling, no talking to your girlfriend, no talking to your friends. If you're going to be working, close the door and work. Don't fake work. Especially for you guys that are working a 9 to 5 while trying to build your brand, you only have so much time to build your clothing brand. So you need to maximize focused hours of work. Every single day before I get into any activity, before I talk to my friends, before I talk to my girlfriend, I do focused work. I sit down on my desk, put my headphones on 100, listening to my sad, lucky music, and get to work. And then step 5 for your next daily rule is to track what you actually did. Be honest. Every single day you need to recap your day, how far you got, how close you got to your goals. That's going to keep you consistent. Because if you can't control your time, you can't build a brand. So by next Saturday, you should have work done every single day, designs created, and references built. That's what you're going to have done by next Saturday after we finish this call. And if you're not, you don't have this done, you're still playing, and you don't want to scale your brand past 10K a month within the next 90 days. Are y'all ready to get into this design stuff now? Y'all ready to get into it? We'll open to Q&A at the end. Let's do it, right? So let's talk about what design really is. Most of you think design is this: make something that just looks cool. And that's completely wrong. Design is intentional. Every piece should mean something. If you are designing just to sell products, you are already lost. The brands that win design with a meaning. They design with a purpose. They design with an agenda. They design with a brand identity and target audience in mind. So if your design process is just, let me just create some cool products, you're never going to create a product that actually wins and sell more than 1,000 units, because the designs aren't intentional. It's not meant for a specific purpose. You didn't see the grand vision beyond the product. You just seen a product. So if your brand's not winning right now, if you're not making as much money as you want to make, it's probably because you're not designing intentionally. It's probably because you're not designing pieces with a meaning. The brands that win are the brands that are designing with a meaning. Let's dig into design language, and this is your personal look. Most of you as of right now have no direction. Your brand looks random. Last drop, it felt like a streetwear brand. This drop, it feels like a grungy brand. The next drop is going to feel like a summer heat wave brand. So your brand just looks random. People just see a whole bunch of stuff and they don't know if it connects with them. Your design language is your brand's visual system. And this is why it is important that you establish this early on when you're building your brand, so you have this set up for each and every single drop. This makes it easier for you to design products because you know exactly what type of products you're going to design and exactly who you're going to design them for. So your design language is your brand's visual system, and that's how your brand looks every single time. And let's talk about how to develop this design language. The first thing is you need to ask yourself, what do you like? What do you like personally? What do you think is hard? What do you like wearing? What is your aesthetic? What do you like? Think of that. What pieces do you personally like? What pieces do you personally wear? What styles do you see that you personally like? Get those down, write those down, take screenshots of them so you have them. A lot of you guys design clothes that you don't even wear. You got to think about that. How are you trying to sell something that you wouldn't even wear yourself? If you wouldn't wear it, why would other people wear it? You feel me? So step number one of developing a design language, the system that's going to help you make money and design more winning products, is you need to ask yourself what you like. If you're not even using what you like, how can you create stuff that other people like, right? So that's step number one. Ask yourself what you like. Step number two, pick your products. Choose 5 things: hoodies, tees, sweats, hats. Pick products that your brand would create. And of course, you're going to pick the basic hoodie, tees, sweats, but try to get a little bit creative with this. Would you do any graphic t-shirts? Would you do any wallet chains? Would you do any wallets? Pick 5 to 10 products that your brand will actually develop and write them down so you have them set in stone. Like I said, you might include some basic products in there, of course, but also try to get some ones that's not so basic. That way we can get a good understanding and good feel for the different products that your clothing brand create. And then step 3, find what you think is cool. Not trends, not what other people say is cool, what you like. You need to find what you actually like. The issue with a lot of brand owners right now is they're just creating pieces that they see other people like and not actually pieces that they like. So if you're creating for other people, you're not going to be that passionate about it. And that's why your drops probably aren't doing what you want them to do, because you designed your whole piece based on another piece that other people liked. And you didn't design it on something that you were actually passionate about and loved, right? And that's the easiest way to build a brand, is to build it around something, about something that you're passionate about and love. So find what you think is cool, not trends, not what other people say, what you personally like. And then after you find that, step 4 will be to save the references. Go on Pinterest or IRL and save photos, save screenshots, go on Depop, go on Instagram, save clothes that you actually like. Get 10 to 20 pieces minimum. If I'm on Instagram and I see a hoodie that I like, that I feel like could fit my brand identity, that I personally will wear, I always take a screenshot of it. Not to steal the design, but to have it as inspiration for future designs, right? Because everything comes off of reference. Everything starts with inspiration. You guys want to save clothes that you actually like. That way you can use them for references in the future for your clothing brand. So each and every single day, you should just be grabbing a bunch of products that you like. But start by doing it today. Start by doing it right now. Going on Pinterest, going on Instagram, going on Depop, screenshotting a bunch of products that you could see your clothing brand creating, that you actually like. That way you have those references when it's time to actually create your products. And then step 5 will be to build your mood board. Now that you have your references, now that you know what you like, now that you got photos of stuff that you like, print or just collect everything inside a note, put it together, and then this will be your direction. If you guys can get a whiteboard or a bulletin board, print the photos out and put them up on your wall, that's even better. That way, every single time you wake up and you're ready to work on your brand, you can look at this wall and literally see what your clothing brand is supposed to be about. You can look at this wall and clearly see the way you're supposed to be building your brand. That is going to be your brand direction, and that is how you build out your design language. That design language is going to make it super easy for you to create products specific to your target audience. And if you create products specific for a target audience, they're obviously going to be more inclined to buy the product versus just creating products for everybody. Because if you're creating for everybody, you are creating for nobody. Let's now talk about what a winning product is, because there's a lot of confusion with this. Most brands fail because their products are just simply not good. I'm gonna be real. Most brands just simply fail because their products aren't good. Your products just aren't appealing. Your product look like every other product that I have inside my closet. And if that's the case, why would I buy it? We need to start realizing that people have clothes. They don't need more clothes. They already have a lot of clothes. Nobody's just out here clothless. And if they are clothless, they're not looking for clothes on Instagram. You feel me? The people that are looking for clothes on Instagram have pieces in their closet. They just want more unique pieces. So think about that every time you create a product. Think about the fact that people already have clothes. So you don't want to create anything that's similar to what they already have in their closet, because then they're not going to buy it. You feel what I'm saying? So a winning product is something that you can't get anywhere else. It stands out. It feels different. It makes people say, that's hard. Some examples of my winning products. First ever winning product was my full zip. Crazy price for the customization details, custom zipper, custom neck tag, embroidery over the face. And we also had satin line hood for a crazy price with multiple colorways, right? So it was a product that was different. It stood out. The colorways were crazy. We did like black and red, yellow and black, black and blue, baby blue and white, purple and white, purple and pink, just colors that nobody else was doing. So it made the product pop out. It was unique. It was different. Most recently, my worker tees. This was another product that was pretty much a winning product for me that made me over $250,000. Nobody was creating worker tees that had pockets inside them with distressed embroidery. So I took the distressed embroidery trending element and created my own product around that and was able to make $250,000 off those worker tees. That is a winning product. It makes people say that's hard. And the thing is, with a winning product, you only need one. You don't need to make a bunch of winning products. One product can take you from 0 to 10K plus a month with your clothing brand. My full zips was the product that hit me my first 10K month. And I made it like this. That full zip drop was my third clothing brand drop, or it was my fourth one. And that made me 10K in a month. Easy. The first drop made 12K the very first day, right? So that one product can take you from 0 to 10K, and it can be the product that you build your clothing brand on, that you continue to sell forever. Even at this point, I still sell worker t-shirts, running ads on some right now. You guys may not see it on the front end, but it's getting done on the back end, because why wouldn't I scale? So winning products have these things: a stop scrolling look. So if people scrolling on social media, it automatically stops them from scrolling. It's not another product that they'll scroll past. It's a product that stops them in the moment. It's a unique idea or a better version of an idea. It's not just something that's refurbished and recreated. It's a unique idea that people haven't seen. So when they see it, they're like, this is new, this is different, I might want to buy it. It has a wow factor. The wow factor is a factor that just makes people want to buy the product. For example, my worker t-shirts were #1 in unique colors. We had pink, we had blue, we had gray, right? And also we made them with distressed embroidery. It wasn't like it was just like a screen print. The embroidery seemed like it was coming out of the actual product. And it had pockets. It was the only t-shirt with pockets. So it was kind of like a hoodie, but a t-shirt with a custom zipper, but a worker jacket, right? So it had that wow factor. Also, for the high perceived value, we added details in there that would increase the overall quality of the product, like the custom zipper, like the pockets, like picking canvas cotton specifically for the material versus just doing like regular cotton. You want to give your product a higher perceived value. On top of that, this is most important, winning products have cultural relevance. Who does it relate to? Who is it for? The worker tees were specifically for the YNs. The YNs that love the Dickie style jackets, that want some hard stuff to put on with the newest release of Jordans. That's what the worker tees was for. It hit that culture, and that culture bought it and ate the product up, and I made over $250,000 off of it. So your winning products need to have all these 5 things. And most important, it needs to have a culture reference. If it's not connected to a culture in a community, it's going to be difficult to scale it because nobody will know it's for them. If your product is boring, of course, it will not sell. Let's talk about the design process, step by step. So here's how I go about my design process, and here's actually how I teach my students, and obviously I'm teaching you guys right now. Here's step 1. You want to ask better questions. Why am I making this? Would I wear this? What makes this different? What is missing in the market? You need to ask yourself this stuff before you start designing. Because if you don't know why you're making this piece or what it stands for, your audience isn't going to know either. They're not going to care. If you don't know if you would even wear the piece, why would you even drop the piece? If you don't know what makes this piece different, it's just going to be like every other piece out there on the market. If you don't know what's missing in the market, you can't create a piece that can fill a market gap. And the fastest way to make money is to fill a market gap. Find a hole in the market, find a hole in your community, in your audience, in streetwear, and attack that hole directly. For example, nobody else out there has a motivational clothing brand that is not corny. You feel me? Usually the motivational clothing brands say stuff like need money for years. And some people may find that corny. Some people may want clothes that feel motivational, that make them feel locked in, that's not necessarily corny. That's a hole. That's a gap in the market that I'm about to attack when I get back to building my brand. Here's step 2. Gather inspiration. This is the most important step. Look at brands. Look at what is selling. Look at what is getting engagement and save 20 plus references. Look at brands that are actually winning. Stop taking photos and references from brands that aren't winning. Stop stealing the stuff that other brand owners are stealing. Find something that you see that looks original. Take that concept. Not take it and steal it and use it, but save it as a reference. See what's selling. See what looks different. Screenshot it. That way you can use it. And the best thing you can do with these references is take points from every single reference. Okay, this photo specifically, I like the silhouette of the jacket. This photo, I like the way the design was sitting. This photo, I like the way the hoodie texture was. You can mix and match all these different pieces from winning products to create your ultimate winning product. And I did that so many times with my winning products. Step 3, refine your design. Don't stop at this is cool. Fix it, then fix it again. Treat it like a rough draft. Keep improving. When you design your first product, excuse me, I'm getting a little bit sick, but don't stop at this is all right. Don't stop at this is cool. Make it better, make it better, make it better, make it better. Treat it like the rough draft. It's just the start. It's not the finish. Keep improving it. And then step 4, use the S tier list. Ask yourself, is this S tier list crazy viral? Or A tier list just very strong, or B tier list just okay? My bad for stuttering. If it's not A tier, you're not done. If your product isn't very strong or crazy viral, you're not done. You should continue designing it. You could continue to develop it. Because if you're dropping a B tier product in the S tier market, you're not going to make money. You want to make money. So let's talk about how to design. This is very practical for you guys. Number 1, use references. You don't design from nothing. You can't design from no ideas, no inspiration, no references. So use references. Use those references that you just grabbed to start collecting ideas in your head. And then after that, use text and visuals. Use your reference words and those graphics from the product references and see what you can piece up together to make it hit. What symbols, what text, what graphics, what photos could you use to make your product hit harder? Group it all up together. And then step 3, design for a product. Don't just design random graphics. That's the dumbest mistake I see brand owners make. It's just designing and not putting it on a product. When you design, you should have the product in mind that you're going to have your product for. So think, what piece is this for and where am I going to place this at? If you're not doing that, you're messing up huge because you're just designing a design, and designs don't win. Like I said, products do. You feel what I'm saying? So create your product specifically for a product. And then step 4, create a specific item. Don't just design for something. Where is this design going? You need to understand that. If your design can just go on a t-shirt, a short, a hoodie, sweats, and still look the same and still look good, it's probably not that good of a design because it's not specific and tailored to something. Because not every design, great design, can just go on everything. You feel me? There's a reason why Balenciaga got a logo that they don't put on the slides, that they don't put on the jacket, that they don't put here. It's just meant for these specific things because that's how you design. Step 5, find your style. What are you going to repeat? What fonts, what placements, what's energy? That's your brand's look. You need to find exactly what your brand is going to stand for and what your brand is going to do consistently because you're going to do that every single time. That way you continuously build those reps with your audience. So when they see your products, they automatically know like, okay, yeah, this is this brand's products, right? You know a brand that when you see them, you know it's them. Every time you see Veil, you know it's Veil. Every time you see Bottega Desires, you know it's Bottega Desires. Every time you see Flower, I believe it is, you know it's Flower. You feel what I'm saying? So find a style that you can repeat, whether that's fonts, colorways, placements, energy. That's going to be your brand's look. That's what you're going to lock in. My nose is itching a little bit. My allergies were tweaking because I literally have slept for less than 2 hours, by the way. But I had to get this done with you guys. Here's part 8, designing for yourself versus designers. You should design first. You need to learn how to design. It's a crucial skill. Try it yourself before hiring designers. Use Photoshop, use Procreate, use Illustrator. Procreate on the iPad is the easiest. And to design, all you need is mockups, your references, and a clear ideas. Here's some tips for you. Text plus image works best. Grab an image, grab some text, cook it up, make it look good. Also, the more niche, the more better. The more identified your design is, the better it's going to sell out because people will be able to tell that this product is specifically for them. Also, use vintage and Depop for inspo. Vintage products have been selling for longer than 10 plus years. So there's timeless products. Get inspiration from them directly. Not saying you have to build a vintage-like brand, but take inspiration from pieces that have never lost time. Take inspiration from pieces that have always been winning pieces that still sell for $20 plus today. Those are going to be the pieces that when you create them, that make your brand really last. And here's part 9. If you don't want to design yourself, here's how to go about finding designers. How to find them. Go on Instagram. For you guys, you can go inside the school community. I got a long list of designers that I know, trust, and use inside that you guys can check out. So you want to go on Instagram or school and find people making designs your style. You don't need country designs. You may not need streetwear designs. You need designs specifically for your clothing brand. So you have to find a designer, look at their work, and actually ensure that they make your style of clothing. Don't just hire a designer because they can make good clothes. Hire a designer because they can make the style that you're trying to get done for your brand. And then after you find your designer, here's what you do. You start with your idea. You give your designer the rough draft. The worst mistake you can make is just jumping out there and saying, hey, designer, just design me something up. This is my brand name. You want to give them your idea. You want to start with your idea. You want to give them a rough draft of what you're thinking about, maybe draw it up, maybe cook it up inside Procreate, and then send it to them. And then be very specific with them about your design, about your brand identity, about your message, about your ideal customer profile. That's going to help them create a better design. And then after that, ask, what do you specialize in? Do you do revisions? Do you charge per revision? And this last part is really important, bro, because when it comes to designs, the first one's not going to come out right. The second one's not. The third one's not. The fourth one not. The fifth one not, right? So if you have a designer that's charging you to get revisions, by the 5th revision, which you're probably going to need to build a really winning product, you're probably going to spend an extra $200 on the design. So try to find a designer that does revisions, including with the base commission price, if you get what I'm saying. And ideally, for the budget, you're going to be spending anywhere between $50 to $125 for a design. I spent somewhere upwards of $300 for a design just because I got so many revisions. But that's why you need to make sure that you ask about the revisions before you actually have to pay them. Here's the important. Good communication matters. If you're not communicating thoroughly, don't expect to get your work done thoroughly. Same thing with manufacturers. If you're not communicating with your manufacturers thoroughly, don't expect to get your products done thoroughly. And of course, be patient. Art takes time. Designing takes time. They also have other clients that they're working with, so be patient. Don't try to hurry up and design for your winter drop and it's already December 1st, Like, plan that stuff ahead. That way you can get your work done ahead, get your samples done ahead as well. Being ahead is important. Being prepared is important as well, but that's a whole nother talk for a whole nother day. Here's part 10. This is creative direction. You need to decide, are you going to be a designer or are you going to be a creative director? Do you want to sit behind the desk and design all day, or do you want to curate your brand? Completely up to you. You can do both. I know guys who do both. I know guys who do one. I know guys who just don't do any of them and actually hire people for whichever services they want to get done. You decide that, though. That's up to you. That way you know if you're going to be hiring a designer or a team of designers, or you're going to be doing it yourself solo. Here's part 11. This is feedback plus the final design. After you cook up your design, get feedback. That's the most important thing you can do. If you're the person that's reviewing your designs and you haven't sold products, haven't sold more than 1,000 products, why are you reviewing your own designs? Send them to me. Send them to other brand owners inside the community that have already made money so you can get feedback. Ask your ideal customer profile. The people who are inside your niche, ask them. And also ask people with taste, not just random people. Don't go ask your brother who's never going to buy your clothing if you think it's hard or not. He's not even your ICP. Ask your ICP, ask me, ask the other brand owners inside the school community who have actually made money. And then pick your design. Start with one piece. Design a couple, pick the best one. Not your favorite one, the best one. The one that is better than the others. If you got 5 designs and you can't decide which design is the best, You don't got 5 mid designs. You don't have 5 good designs. You don't have 5 great designs. If each design is the same level of goodness, they're all mid. So make sure you can find a design that's actually different and unique that can be your top design that you actually end up going with, right? And now let's talk about tech packs. And then we're going to get you guys out of here. This is important. Your tech pack is the blueprint for your product. It is the blueprint for your product. If you do not make a tech pack and you do not do well with your tech pack, your product is not going to come out the way you want it. It should include mockups, size charts, graphics, placements of the exact design, references, and fabric. Mockups should be vector mockups of your products. Size charts, you can get these from Essence or you can develop this on your own. Your manufacturers need to know how to cut into your products so they know how they fit. If you're not using a size chart, my bad, you're missing out. You're missing out on a whole lot of money because your products are probably trash. The silhouettes are probably off. Graphics, obviously you need to include the design. Placement, you want to include where the design should be. Is it going to be 10 inches lower than the neck tag? Is it going to be 10 inches above the bottom hem? You need to be specific, because the more specific, the better you're going to get your product. If you just send your mock-up over and then hope your manufacturer just places it relatively to how the mock-up looks, you're making a big mistake. You're leaving it up to, I said steak. You're making a big mistake. You're leaving it up to chances for your product to actually get done correctly. Don't make that mistake. And also you want to include references. This is really important. Add photos of the details that you're talking about. So if you want a specific type of distressing, show that specific type of distressing and circle every single where you want the distressing at. If you want a specific type of printing material, show that specific type of printing material and show where you want that printing material at. And of course, you need to have a good understanding of your fabric, your cottons, your French terries, how much you're going to use it, how heavy you want it to be, etc. This is why it matters, because it saves you time, it saves you money, it prevents mistakes. So be very detailed. Be very detailed with your manufacturer. If you're not detailed while you're getting your products made, don't expect to create a winning product. Every product I ever made that ever made me more than $250,000, it was the most difficult manufacturing process because I had to get them made perfectly. I held on to those worker t-shirt samples for about 7 months before I ever dropped them. So a whole summer before I dropped them, I had that product just because I was trying to perfect it. Same thing with the full zips. I had the full zips a little bit after my second drop. I dropped in my 4th clothing brand drop. So I sat on the product, made it better until it was ready. So be super detailed in your tech packs. All right, this is part 13, and this is this week's work. No excuses. Step number 1, fix your habits. You're going to wake up on time. You're going to sleep on time. You're going to work 2 hours early. None of this stuff I taught you about design language matters if you're not even waking up in enough time to put this work in. If you're not even waking up in enough time to build a real clothing brand, none of this matters. So don't do that work unless you can do this work of waking up on time, going to sleep on time, and working 2 hours a day. After that, you need to go ahead and create this Google Doc and write down what you like, what colors you like, what fits you like, what styles you like, what graphics you like. Write all that stuff down so you can clearly see it. After that, you want to save your references. 25 to 50 images from Pinterest in real life of products, designs, fabrics, details that you like. You need to have a huge reference bank. That way you can come to this reference bank anytime it is time to create products. If you are just creating products, going to Instagram, stealing somebody's stuff, and then thinking that you're going to make money, you're completely wrong. And then step 4, you want to build out your mood board. Put everything together. This can be on a Miro board. This can be on a document. This could be on a whiteboard. This could be on a bulletin board. Whatever you got to do to where you can see this every single day, put this up, because this is going to guide every single decision that you make after this as far as products. And then step 5, create 3 to 5 designs. Use your references, contact the designer, etc. And then step 6, pick one design. You're not going to pick 7 designs. You're going to pick one design that you think is the best, that you can scale the furthest, after obviously getting feedback from me, which is step 7. Get feedback from me, or get feedback from people that's inside your ideal customer profile. You feel what I'm saying? Here's part 14. We're going to close out of here. If you do this right, you'll stop guessing. You'll actually create. You'll build something real. So next week, we're going to turn this design into a real product and start working on samples and production. If you guys haven't already been working on that process, if you have, it's cool. If you haven't, we get to work on it further and in depth. Here's the last part. I broke down completely how to build out your design language and provided you guys with real examples. Now the work is on you. Take the next 7 days to finish this activity as listed in the steps. Follow the steps, create the notes, operate like a 6-figure brand owner. Ask questions and get opinions inside the WhatsApp and school community. We'll do final reviews on next week calls. Now, next week, we'll focus on, I didn't spell this right, but producing products. What I want you guys to do now is go ahead and book a one-on-one call for direct questions on this assignment, on this task, on your brand, so there's no confusion. I'm going to drop the link to this call inside the WhatsApp chat, and I'm also going to drop the link inside the WhatsApp chat for you guys to actually book your one-on-one calls, and it's going to be all day throughout this Saturday. I'm going to be answering them as much as I can. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm going to send those links in. You guys have a wonderful rest of the Saturday. We got the ROC school call coming up in literally less than 15 minutes where I'm going to explain how you guys can set out your drops. But also, I want you guys to book your one-on-one calls, and I'll send that inside the WhatsApp chats. I know I look a little dark, but you guys just pretty much see me break down exactly how to build a winning product by establishing a clothing brand design language. And I broke that down with my students live. I have another call to hop on with a bigger group of my students after this. We're going to talk about how to sell out your clothing brand drop. And if you guys ever want to become one of my students, it's super easy to do, but it's not super easy to get in. All you got to do is go down below, click the very first link, apply. If I like you, if I like your work ethic, if I see that you're serious about building your clothing brand, I will accept you. But go take that sauce, take the information that I just gave you, and use it to create your first winning product for your clothing brand.